you had a buddy who was a barber. You asked, actually, it took a while before you figured out to ask the people you knew if anybody needed help with Google Ads. He said, yeah. You had to have about 6 phone calls with him to convince him to do it, which is a bit of a red flag for me, by the way.
Yeah.
You finally got to do it. You got loads of phone calls to him. He didn't kind of appreciate the value, see the value, which is okay. That's fine. But that's what I
Yeah.
mean by the red flag. He didn't see the value. You didn't bite your hand off the first time you mentioned it to him. It took 5 times, but that's okay. That's you'll learn this stuff. Then eventually he said, "Look, this is just not valuable for me." Right. So, but what you were able to do was add value in the sense that you generated leads for a barber. So you're happy with your skill set that, oh my goodness, I can use Google Ads to generate leads for a business, but this particular business doesn't want them, not enough to pay for them. That's fine, and you'll find lots of businesses like that. So then your next step was like, so like you know how to add value. You now need to
Right.
work out how to get paid. There's 2 parts to being a business person. You've got to add value and you've got to get paid. Usually in that order, I think. Um, I just think that's a better way to look at it. Add value, get paid. So you then, what did you do? You joined a networking group or something? How?
So yeah, so I first, because it was a barber and I already had an account set up, tailored, that's works for a barber, I started, posting on my Facebook. And, I made a Facebook to post for barbers. Hey, does anybody want these leads? And nothing. I was like, oh my God. So then I went on Craigslist and I saw, like 6 different mobile barbers on Craigslist, called them all. Hey, I got these leads and they're already optimized. They're ready to go. I can just literally plug in your phone number on my website and they'll go to you. No, nobody wanted them, not one of them. I was just like, okay, well, maybe barbers aren't the way to go with this. So, and for other reasons too, but yeah, so what I did was I joined a networking group, and I mean, that was a game changer because I was introduced to like-minded business people who want to meet me and who see me as a business owner when, I barely see myself as a business owner yet. And but because I ran that initial account for the barber, I knew that I had something, I knew that I had, and because I have the form in my back pocket, it was just like, I have that resource, and so I joined this networking group, and an insurance company was like really interested, and they, when I was talking to them initially, I found myself just talking way too much because I wanted to just share everything, right? I wanted to tell them everything. Yeah. And I kept telling her, like, just stop me if I'm talking too much. I really appreciate your patience. And she's like, no, I love how transparent you are. I love how honest you are. And she recited back to me like 4 or 5 different issues that she's had with 4 or 5 different digital marketing companies in the past. And I wrote them all down because I thought about, like, okay, this is how I'm going to be successful, is by not doing any of these things. And a lot of the things that she wrote about were these people, they were unscrupulous, and they weren't as transparent as you are. And, and she really appreciated my thoroughness, because, a lot of people, like, I guess a lot of digital marketing companies don't take the time to be as thorough with people like her. And she's not used to any of this stuff. She just wants to take the phone calls to sell insurance. Right.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. Most digital marketing companies are focused on the traffic and the clicks.
Yeah.
And then, thank God for Andy Black, man. I was like, I told her that before she could tell me that. And she was just like, oh my God, you're so right. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I just want the phone calls. I just want the clicks. And so, yeah, now I have an insurance company's account, and which is vastly different than a barber's account. With the barber, I had, 20 ads. With the insurance, I have like thousands. And it's like, now I'm stuck. Now I feel like I'm over my head, and it's just like, okay, well, there's no not getting this done. There's no not being successful. There's no not, doing this for her. So
Yeah, there's a few things I just want to pick up on there. So when you say a networking group, what was that? That was presumably an online thing at the moment because of everyone being in lockdown and stuff.
yeah. So initially, the only networking group I did a lot. What did I do? The first thing I did was, because I just graduated college like a few months back, I went onto my college website and went to like alumni resources and was like, is there any like alumni resources for entrepreneurs, and I started like emailing people at my school, didn't hear from anybody. And then I was just like, okay. And then I went on to I remember you mentioned something that I think the government puts on in your area. And I remember when I was in college doing this, I had to connect with the Economic Alliance for like my region. And I went on that webpage and I just read through the webpage trying to find resources, entrepreneurial resources, basically. And whether it be a class or a course or a coaching or a mentorship or a local networking group, just to try, with the whole idea of trying to get around more like-minded business people. And I found all of it. I found they had all the different chambers of commerces. They had these other various networking groups. They had score mentors, score classes, different outside coaches, and I reached out to everyone. I sent emails to everybody. I probably spent 4 or 5 days just getting out into the world virtually through Zoom and email. And yeah, and then what I ended up doing ultimately, I went on to, I got frustrated because it was just like, these people aren't reaching back to me quick enough, and I'm impatient and I need this to work now, and I Googled best networking group near me, and and it brought up the BNI. I don't know if you've ever heard of BNI.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer right there. I went in there and I visited like 7 different chapters to see just what was going on, because it was either I joined BNI or I joined a chamber of commerce. And I just like the way BNI worked. It was really, I just like the way it worked. It was very like, it just seemed the most effective, like the most effective resource. Right. And, so I did that, and I got my name out there quick, and they were very, professional about it, because I went to different like Facebook group business meetups that just didn't seem like they weren't as like, we're here for business,
Right. Yeah.
And so
Okay. So then, how did you introduce yourself?
Oh, well, here's where I think I made a, oh goodness, I'm sorry. So I introduced myself by, what's funny about that is I started, I took a piece of paper and I just typed everything I know about what I'm doing and tried to pull out like the value skews, on how I can best like explain it with the most value that I'm bringing to the table. And I first started pitching myself like, hey, I do Google ads, and I manage Google ads accounts, and it's mostly to help people, help business owners who are, already in need for, it was terrible. Just so I butchered it. It was terrible. I was like, oh my God, thank God this is over. You know what I mean? And I would write down, every meeting that I would go to, every time I would introduce myself, I would try one of like the 7 different ways. Oh, yeah, I'm a digital marketing agency. Oh, I do Google Ads management. Oh, I'm a data consultant. I find the data for people looking for you, and then I I let you optimize your marketing channels with that data. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would find different ways to spin it, and I would get different reactions. Of course, most of them were just dismissive. Most of them were like, "Oh yeah, that's great."
Yeah.
And that was it. You know what I mean? Nobody was like, "Oh yeah, I really want that." Nobody was like, "Oh yeah, I really need that." Or I noticed when I mentioned Google Ads, they're like, "Oh yeah, we tried that," or "Oh yeah, we have somebody who does that." And it was like, damn. So then, but all I needed was one. All I needed was one, and I remember she texted me after the meetup, and or after the meeting, and she was like, "Yeah, the way you explained it was, I thought it was interesting, and I would like to talk more about it." And I was like, "No way, you're joking. You're not serious. You're not serious." And of course I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. We scheduled a call, and I like planned this elaborate script to how I'm going to go through everything so I don't mess up. And we took the call, and I've been in sales, so I know how to like explain something and just kind of make it like kind of transition into a close kind of thing. And that's what I did. And she was just like, "Okay, yeah, 298, let's do it." And I was just like, "Oh my God, it's really happening. I'm making a sale right now." Because I didn't charge the barber any money. This was the first time someone's actually paying me money to do this. And she paid me. And I was like, what did I say? How did I introduce myself with this customer? I'm Sonny Sachs, and I do Google Ads.
Right.
I remember I made a note for because I would make a note for how I'd introduce myself, and I remember I looked her up, like, okay, so this meeting was on this day, and what pitch did I use? Oh, it was this one. Huh. So it worked. It was.
Have you seen how my
I
advice?
have, yes.
What is it? It's the same, isn't it?
I do Google. I help businesses I help businesses with Google Ads and mobile landing pages.
Yeah, that's kind of elevator pitch if someone specifically asks for an elevator pitch. But if I'm going to a live workshop where we're with everyone in the room, 20 people, and we've come to learn LinkedIn for business, for instance, and I have sent myself on a course on that, and I'm sitting there as an attendee like everyone else with a pen and paper ready to start, and they go, "Right, before we start, can maybe just everyone introduce themselves, tell us your name and a little bit about your business?" I go, "My name's Andy Black, and I do Google Ads." That's it. Actually,
That's it.
I say I do those little ads on Google is what I actually say, and I do that. It's small, just they're little ads on Google. That's what I do, and then I shut up. And that's it.
That's
And
it.
like, there's no USP, there's no pitch, there's no elevator pitch type thing. There's no features, benefits. There's no copy. There's no sales. It's just, this is me. This is what I do. And you can see some people go, "Oh, hold on. I need to speak to that lad at coffee break." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the coffee break, what happens? You're having coffee, and someone come over. "Right, my wife, she sells wedding dresses, and I was just wondering, do you think Google Ads will work for that?" And I'll be like, "Ooh, that's an interesting one." Probably. I mean, a lot of it will be word of mouth and stuff. But if you don't know anyone local, anyways, you can always try it, couldn't you? You just run the ads, and if nobody clicks, then you don't spend anything. Really? Is that how it works? And you go, "Yeah, thanks." And then somebody else will be back, so they'll go away. Somebody else. What did I say? I just said I do Google Ads. I didn't say I was very good at it. I didn't say how long I'd been doing it. Just I do Google Ads, and that's enough. It's
That's
like
enough.
isn't it? That's enough for the 2 or 3 people in that group of 20 who are in the market or know somebody who's in the market for a Google Ads person. So when you're chatting to like a stack of people, they go, "Oh, look, I do Google Ads, and mostly I help insurance companies." Now you might just give a bit, flesh it out a little bit. If it's BNI, and if you're supposed to, well, who are you? What's your business? What do you do? Who do you help? You fill it out. But normally I wouldn't bother. But so they go, "Oh, okay, great. Good, brilliant. That's good for you. Fabulous." And that's fine. Yeah. Or they go, "Oh, I've already got someone doing Google Ads." "Oh, brilliant. Good for you." Sales is a screening process. you're literally trying to find out who's going to bite your hand off. And your mate, the barber, didn't bite your hand off. You had to convince him to do it after 6 calls. That would have been the red flag to me.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You did it. You did it, and you got him going. And obviously, I forgot that your background was sales, and hence you keeping a note of what I spoke to this person on this date and use that script and blah, blah. That's really smart. I've never done that. So there you go. That's your sales.
I was recording my voice and like trying to like, oh, nope, my tone's not right. My tone's not right.
Forget that. Honestly, my advice is forget all that stuff. And the fact that, fine, you might have had a script that you spoke to this lady about, and you had a thing and you closed her at the end. What works for me is kind of what I think works for you as well. You just got super excited about it. And, oh, you can do this and you can do that. And like, if you do this, then this could work for you. And then, I wonder, oh, you could try that. And what they see is okay, you know your stuff, and I would like to work with you. I like you. You're a normal human being. You're not like, and also at the end of it, right? So this phrase, always be closing. Fine, yeah. I hear it. Like, maybe I'm not a great salesperson, but I actually think I do all right. I don't consider myself a salesperson, but my take on always be closing is, one, I don't like that kind of, oh, I'm going to try and close you at the end. It's like, no, always be closing means have a nice chat with someone, build a good relationship, walk away going, yay, let me know how you get on and must speak to you, we'll introduce you such and such. And move on to the next person. That's your always be closing. You're waiting to find the person who goes, what? You do what?
Yes.
That's exactly what I want. So you keep going, but as you do it, you're not like, oh, damn, that was a terrible conversation. Oh, what a waste of time that was. It's like, no, you got to speak to another human being, got to meet them, build a relationship. I like going in with my eyes open, going, oh, who's this person? What can I learn from? I don't even ask those questions. I'm just super curious. It's like, wow, I'm going to speak to Sonny. What's his background? Where's he live? And, is it hot? Is it cold? Blah, what's he doing? And I didn't know you were just out of college. Wow, it's amazing, probably.
Yeah, and that alone, having that mindset is so when I first started reaching out to people, and like, even before the barber, when I was like calling my own network, you know what I mean? I must have talked to like 6 people before I spoke to the barber, and I was going in there with the idea, again, I'm conditioned as a salesperson, so I'm going in there as like a hunter. I'm going in there to like to sell something right now, and I kept having to fall back, and I would go onto the forum after I'd get all frustrated with my sales, my quote unquote sales pitch, and I go back on the forum to read about, spend time on diesel and coffee. And going back to your stuff about how just put it down, stop with the profession and the corporate and the salesy, just cut it out. And it's been it's been a practice for me to like kind of rip that sales bone out of my body and really just take a genuine interest in people, for Christ's sakes, instead of trying to get something from them, especially in the beginning of the quarantine, when I started reading about like just the different threads that I point to in my progress thread on the first post, just have the mindset of just contribute. Remember the first time, one of the first conversations that you and I had, I kept asking you and taking, and you're like, hey, you might want to like produce something on the forum, like switch to team. You did it in the most polite way possible with the velvet glove, man. But you were like, yeah, post your, that was what it was. Thanks for listening to my recordings, but, post your takeaways. That way you can kind of start to shift from team consumer to team producer. And that's when I started thinking like, I remember reading that somewhere. Right. And yeah. And then once I got frustrated with being dismissed and not accomplishing a sale, I would fall back and look back on it like it's because you're approaching it wrong. And then when I started to approach it in that way that you just mentioned, about just having it, just how are you helping people? How are you going out there to the community that is obviously in dire need of some help right now with what you're doing? Like go in there and maybe and add value first. So that's when I started to really not be so identified with the outcome of the conversation, taking satisfaction in the, oh, you'll love this, taking satisfaction in the process of getting out there as opposed to the event of what the result is.
Oh, I do love that. Yeah, yeah. People
You
in the
know?
forum will love that because they will understand that completely. That's what MJ will say all the time. You got to love the process. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
when
then I
you're not
started
hung
having
up,
fun with it.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then once I started having fun with it, it was just like, all right, I'm going to go meet people. I'm going to fall on my face. I'm going to say a stupid pitch and butcher this whole script that I made. And then later I realized how that whole script I made was just an action fake. Really, I was just trying to keep busy action fake and thinking I'm doing something. When in reality, it's just like, no, man, just get out there and talk to people. You have
Yeah,
something of value. You have something. Go give
yeah.
it to the world, you know?
Yeah, and that phrase "people buy from people." If you think about it, if you're going through a script, they don't know you. They're
Mm.
trying to see you through the script of like you've written all this and you've got objections handling and all that stuff. I don't read sales books. I think they're just recommend mojo. Obviously, I've read things and you just pick it up. Like, the main one I'd give someone from a sales book that I ever heard or someone mentioned about sales is silence. Just sometimes shut up. Just shut up. Say something and let them think. They're trying to think of something. Don't leave an uncomfortable silence where it's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna wait for you to speak because the person who speaks first loses kind of crap. It's
Yep.
like literally you say something and they're quiet. Don't go in to try and justify or explain. Just let them mull it over, and be comfortable with the silence. And that's kind of normal conversation as well. It's like
And
you might
another
say,
thing
yeah,
is I remember reading something that you posted about how, like, I don't pitch. I'm the consultant. I'm you either want my help or you don't.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
that is so new to me because normally I'm like selling a thing. Look at it. It's got all these different things and it's great and you should have it. And whereas with like consulting work, it's I mean, you got to understand, Andy, that like I just found this mindset at the beginning of this quarantine, which was what, 2 months ago. And just in that 2 months, I've helped multiple people. I've made over $1,000 just putting myself out there in different ways. And it's like now I'm in this entirely new field. And not only am I in this entirely new field with something that I just learned like very recently, and I don't even have it all. Like, I don't even have it all. I'm just trying to make it work. And, you know, like it's so to position myself as a consultant is like, feels disingenuous. It feels dishonest. Right. So for me, it's more of like, it's a balancing act. It feels like I'm spinning 6 different plates of like, how do I get out there? How do I look good enough to where I can sell myself, but not, be dishonest or disingenuous, not
yeah. Okay, so
here at the same
there's
time.
that. What do people call it?
The whole
Imposter
not being an
syndrome.
expert thing.
Yeah, there's a slight imposter syndrome thing possibly going on, but don't call yourself an expert then or consultant. You just say, I do Google Ads. It's like,
Which is what I started doing. That's exactly
yeah,
what I started doing.
I
Yeah.
do Google Ads. I'm pretty damn good at it, but there's loads of areas I don't. I'm not good at Google Shopping. I'm not good at Google Display. I'm not good at like the retargeting. I'm really good at a specific thing at it. But so would I say I'm like really good at Google? I don't know. I don't care. My job is to help you, and like if I
Right.
can help you with like that much knowledge, then that's good enough. You know?
Right. That's all you need. I can help you get customers. Maybe. Let's see. I have a process that I
Yeah,
know has
yeah,
worked, so maybe it'll work for you. That's
yeah.
that's what I learned in that process of getting out there, falling on my face, looking stupid, talking to people, and it's brought
It's
me
fun
here.
as well. You said the word fun. It's fun.
Oh,
You
absolutely. I mean, the fact that like the sheer forgetting the fact that like it's new, the newness of it, but like I mean, messing with Google alone is just like looking at the graphs and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that alone is interesting to me. But the biggest part about it is I have always wanted to go into business for myself. This might be the 4th or 5th time I've actually tried a quote unquote entrepreneurial venture. And, you know, it's funny. I've tried selling vape juice, you know, shipping vape juice to where was it, Prague. And I've tried starting up these drug treatment centers with people. And I've tried a garage cleaning company when I was in high school and different things like that. And it's funny because when I was reading in the forum, RHL's post about getting started is this simple, I was reading about like how I always made so much of a task the whole going into business thing is. And then I would think about all my going into business history, and the most successful venture that I've ever had was that garage cleaning company. I just threw all my house cleaning tools and stuff, my tools and my cleaning supplies in the back of my truck and went door to door knocking on doors. And I ended up getting a couple customers just doing that, and it worked.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I stopped because I went back to college and blah, 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 blah. I just got lazy, but I could have totally kept going with that. I could have totally kept going out. That could have totally been a thing. And I thought about that and just kind of applied it to this in a way of like, stop overcomplicating things. And that's why I love you. Like all the posts that you make reinforce that mindset of just stop. You're thinking too hard. You're overcomplicating it. It's not that difficult. You just do it. Figure it out as you go along. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I've been doing. And hence this phone call, because it's just like, oh shit. I don't know what to do.
but see, when someone hires you, by the way, that's all music to me is, and I love that story about you just got stuff, put your stuff in the back of the truck. It could have been a lawnmower. Need a grass cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do it. There you go. You're in business. You don't need a business card or
Nope.
a company name, a USP or a blah or this. Just stop. You just need a customer.
No business cards. No elaborate email signature. No. I did spend a day making one and then realizing that I'm action faking. Thank God for that term. It's I'm getting really good at spotting myself when I'm action faking.
I do it. I do it not occasionally. I'm doing it all the time, constantly. So I have to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what do I have to do to open the doors on this thing? Do I have to, like, for instance, my course that you've just signed up for the membership thing?
Yeah.
Except Stripe doesn't do PayPal. I'm like, why does it not do PayPal? Something's wrong. Go in a Facebook group. Why can't I get it to do PayPal for membership? And then finally someone from support emails me, oh, you can't if you're doing a membership. It's got to be just Stripe. All right. You can use Zapier, integrate with PayPal. Okay, so I go down that rabbit hole, and then I'm like, hold on. Do I need this? Somebody asked if they can join in, and I'm saying, no, hold on, wait until I add PayPal. It's like,
oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, don't be no, stop. I would like it to have PayPal, but there's a payment method already. I will let you. It wasn't you, it was somebody before you. Here it is. He went in, he paid by Stripe. I was like, there you go. I didn't need that. I didn't need it. It would be nice to have. I spoke to somebody else, Rob Fox from the forum, and he says, well, I think 80% of his sales for the membership come through Stripe. I was like, done. That's it. 20, done. That'll do. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll miss on 20%, but I'll sort that later. But there's literally somebody here. I want to give you my money. And I'm like, hold on. I need to make sure that
yeah, man.
I've got the right drawer open to put the money in. It's like, just stop.
Right. I found myself spending days on like a sales script and days on critiquing on how I'm going to position my business, and days on like email signatures and stuff like that. And I was just like, you just wasted 3 days doing this bullshit. You could be getting in front of people and just telling them you do Google ads,
Yeah, I do Google ads. Actually, you know what? I keep changing on LinkedIn, I keep changing what my title is. I keep changing it based on what I want to do with LinkedIn, and I haven't figured LinkedIn out at all. I don't really like the platform, to be honest. But I might just put down, I do Google ads. I do Google ads. Because, I think I should have Google ads in it, because when people connect with me, I've done this before where I had Google Ads consultant or Google Ads specialist. I prefer specialist consultant, because specialist is a guy who does the work. And people typically want to speak to the guy who does the work. I want to speak to the mechanic to find out what's wrong with the car, not the
Right.
the person in front of the house in the car dealership. So I had that, and then when I connected with loads of people, I just sent loads of connection requests because I just wanted to get beyond the 500 connections, up to 11,500 now. And just by sending loads of connection requests a day, and then everyone accepts it on LinkedIn because everyone wants to grow their network, I would get the occasional, "Oh, you do Google Ads? Can I have a little conversation?" Purely because they saw under Andy Black, Google Ads specialist. That was it. So now currently I've changed it to just say dad, husband, entrepreneur, because I don't know what to put, so I just. So that's what I want to put down. Because I don't want. If you do some sort of marketing, if you put CEO or business owner, you just end up with more spam in your inbox, I think. Yeah, from all the we're a development team, and
I don't even know. My LinkedIn profile is a college student still.
Yeah,
I have
that's
to
fine.
change that.
Just no, put down I do Google Ads or something like that. But I like the fact that that's just simple. It's like,
Yeah.
and what also, as you were saying these things, I made some notes. Like when you're chatting, you have 7 ways of introducing yourself.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What I found was I tried to change a bit from being a Google Ads guy to doing some, I don't just do Google Ads, I also do your landing page and your website. Oh, that's rubbish and blah. Why won't you listen to me about your landing page? And you just do the ads bit and get the traffic. Right. So I actually hired a marketing guy for like 500 a month for months, trying to reposition and come up with the blah, blah, blah.
Really?
I gave up on it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace it. Because no matter what I say, everyone just goes, "Oh, meet Andy. He's really good at Google Ads." Yeah, that's me. Right. So it's not what you'd want people to know you as. Yeah, I mean, that is important, obviously, because you're trying to figure out your business, but pay attention to how they introduce you to
And
their
how they
friends.
respond to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be, that's so funny you say that, because I started in the beginning, I was just like, yeah, I do digital marketing. And they're like, "Oh, well, we already have somebody who does that." Or, "Oh, I do digital marketing too." And it was just like, I thought a meeting went really well one day. And at the end of the day, I'm on my walk, because I'm walking at dusk every day during this quarantine. And I'm walking, I'm thought, wait a minute. I just spent a whole day telling people that I do digital marketing, and nobody has no idea what I do. Nobody has nobody has no idea what I do. And not only that, but I bet the people who say that they do digital marketing don't do what I do in the way that I do it. And so, so what I did was I ended up having a meeting with an IT specialist and like a digital marketing person. And I told them, that's when I used the other pitch of like, yeah, I do Google Ads in this way.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh," because before they were just like, "Oh yeah, we do Google Ads with search engine optimization." And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think we do the same shit. But I felt like I was already, I kind of like off to a bad start, kind of shot myself in the foot, trying to sound more general as opposed to more specific.
More specific works.
Yeah, more specific works, definitely, especially with this.
And also, bear in mind, like, you get in doing somebody's Google Ads. This happened to me. So they get you in for 2 Google Ads because they want someone to do Google Ads. You help them with it. Then they'll be like, "Can you do the SEO?" And you're like, "No, I don't do SEO. It's very different from Google Ads." And like, "Do you know when does it then?" So then I'm referring them. "Can you look after our WordPress website?" And you're like, "I don't do that either, but I know somebody." Right? As soon as you come in on one thing, they want to hand the whole lot to you.
Because, you know what's funny about that? Somebody reached out to me from my network and was just like, "Hey, you're doing Google Ads?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I do Instagram marketing, so we should partner. So if you know anybody, who wants Instagram marketing, and likewise, da 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 da." So yeah, it's funny you say that, because that same thing happened to me just a few days ago.
And you will find also, it's an interesting one. I don't know why, but if you speak to lots of digital marketing agencies or web design agencies or PR or graphic design, they might do a bit of Instagram, Facebook, and they all do them. Or you literally will speak to lots of digital marketing agencies and they do everything but Google Ads.
It's really,
it's very common.
I didn't know that. I spoke to a digital marketing lady, and she said, I don't know how we got on the subject, but it was like a 3-way conversation via email, and the other person was just like, hey, uh, uh, I forgot what her name is. Call her Dorothy. You know, hey Dorothy, do you do Google Ads? And she responds to the text. She says, yeah, we do. We use Google. What did she say? We use Google with our SEO, like I was telling you. And I had no idea how to respond to that. I didn't know, because at that point it was like, I just I felt like she wasn't biting my hand off. So I felt like I wasn't going to waste my
Yeah.
time trying to convince her. But at the same time, I wanted to ask you, how do you, when people confuse what you do with SEO, have you ever gotten that? Because I've
Oh
gotten
yeah,
that a
all the
couple of
time.
times.
All the
All the
time.
time. All the time. What do you
Yeah.
say?
I
How do you word it?
Right. You
Is there
get
like
things
a
like, we tried that, it doesn't work. And I'm like, okay. To me, that's one of the red flags. We tried it, it doesn't
mm,
work. It doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Or Google Ads don't work. Or I never click on ads. It's like, okay. There's somebody up the road spending 20 grand a month wants to bite my hand off. What am I doing to, I'm not like, sorry. I'm sorry. I came across a bit passive aggressive there. I wouldn't be like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, right, you're telling me a lot about your mindset.
right?
It hasn't worked once, so it never work, or it hasn't worked once for you, it'll never work for anybody. Well, you just carte blanche, just the Google ads don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or they might say, oh no, I'm not paying for clicks. I'm not paying. No. So okay, but you'll pay for content to get created that you hope is going to bring visitors from Google to you. It's like, hold on, and that might take you months.
Right.
And right, so that to me just displays a different mindset. And yeah, okay, my head is not as good, but really in reality, it's just different. But I want the guy who goes, no, I ain't got the time to write loads of content. I ain't got the time to wait 3 months. I want to start today. Are the ads they're live in 10 minutes? Brilliant. I want to appear if somebody searches for business valuation specialist Ireland or something like that. I want to appear. Why am I not there? I did a search. I see all my competitors there. How do I get there? I want that guy who wants to bite my hand off. So when and also if someone's confusing SEO and Google Ads, that tells me that they don't know much about Google Ads, right?
Right.
And I want the
Right.
guys who know Google Ads. If somebody bites my hand off about Google Ads, that means they're spending money on something monthly to get more business. If
Right.
they're, oh no, I just do SEO, that means they've got a reluctance. If they just do SEO, they've got a reluctance to spend money on it. If I want to get paid to help people generate leads for their business, then I'd rather do business with the people who are already spending money trying to get leads for their business. Yeah. Now, some people are obviously spending a lot of money on SEO to get leads for the business, but a lot of people, when they say they do SEO, means they write lots of articles and they spend hours doing research and writing something and blah, 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 and they'd rather spend 3 hours a night doing that than whatever, spend 10 or a day
Yeah.
and, get going. So that it kind of displays a mindset. No, but look, this business is spending 100 grand a month or more on SEO. So, it depends who I'm speaking to, but like they're not going to mistake Google ads for SEO, those folks
So
typically.
so at that point it falls into your screening process,
Yeah,
and
it's part
you
of the screening
you
process.
and you re-aiming for the people who are already in motion
Yeah,
with that. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Took a
And
note of that.
then, so like Google have rebranded from from AdWords to Google Ads,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of took away one of my little things, which is, I do Google Ads. And then someone will go, oh, you do AdWords. I'm like, oh, you know what they're called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Because that's what you were calling it when it was still AdWords, and then now that's a
yeah,
switch. You don't have
yeah.
that.
And I never used to call it AdWords because AdWords doesn't help anyone. If I said, oh, I do AdWords, oh, you mean you do those little ads on Google? Like, yeah, the Google Ads. Everyone called them Google Ads. A few people would know them as AdWords because you have to log into AdWords. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so to me, it's just all part of the screening process. I'm sorry, I was being a little bit passive aggressive about that.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, no.
Yeah,
No.
about how I might react to people. I wouldn't be like that. It was just a conversation. But if they're saying, "Oh, no, the SEO and this," I'm going, "Okay, right. You're not seeing the difference. Um, they're unlikely to become a client of mine, but here's you go and chat to. I do know some SEO guys. Go and have a chat with them about the
And
SEO.
you don't even waste time trying to even convince them at
No,
all.
I might do it because if I think about it from the standpoint of how would I best help this person versus trying to make a sale, my as a professional point of view, I should maybe say, look, by the way, it's great that you run an SEO, but you could all those articles that you create, rather than wait X amount of time before Google indexes them and ranks them and stuff, you could run there's something in Google ads called dynamic search ads, where you just point them at the page and Google run ads. And you could set a really low budget and you could start getting your volume. And then you could see the search terms that are coming through, and it might not be what you thought it was. You might be ranking for things that you're not expecting to, and then you can write another article. That's how you could do that. And if they might go, you what? Explain that again. Or they might be like, no, I don't do Google ads, which is fine. So, but I've said my piece, and I've added, I've tried to help them. But if they don't want to go that route, it's great. That's fine. If they do, then fine as well.
Yeah.
So I would just go, you're dead to me. Yeah. There's just a couple of things, and then we'll go and have a look at this account of yours. You mentioned that she liked that you were transparent, and that's just part of it. It's like I know I love what I do, and I get super excited about it, and oh my god, you said what? Oh, I had a client and we did this. It's not part of my script. I don't even write scripts because I know I can't stick to a script. I go off piste immediately, but I allow myself to get all excited. I don't like, oh no, stop being excited. It must be all serious and hands down or whatever. I'll just go because, and if they like that, great. And if they'd rather work with someone who's a bit more whatever, then that's great as well. But now they know, they can see it, and it's actually helpful for me to find a good fit so that they know what I'm like. This is what I'm going to be like when you're working with me. We're going to have a chat like once a month or whatever, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to go, my brain is just going to go ding, 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 ding. You can try this, you can try that. Have you thought of this? And I've got some clients and they love that. They'll send me a message going, Andy, we've got X amount of this product in stock. How do we sell it? If I look on Google, there's no ads. We can't run ads for it, but eBay's top and this, that. And I'm like, well, get on eBay. List yourself on eBay if eBay is getting all the SEO traffic. And then who does your SEO? Try and get yourself ranked for SEO. And then you've got all these, so just bang, bang, bang. But that's what they want to work with someone like that. So I just be myself. And even if it's not 100% what they'd like, they at least know you. The transparency is a big deal. And like in the digital marketing space, people are very, very distrustful, of us and what we do,
I had no idea. And she's telling me these stories that like since I want to say like in the last 10 years, she's telling me her experiences. And it was interesting because it got to a point where after I spoke to so many people and I kept having to fail really and remind myself that no, man, stop with the salesy stuff, stop with the corporate stuff, just make friends. Go out there and make friends. Go be a friend. And then once you make a friend, see if what you do can help that friend. And then when you're helping that friend, help her like she's a real friend, as opposed to like an acquaintance. Like, no, this is my real friend. Do you need anything? Are you okay? There's a lot of crazy quarantines and coronaviruses and looters and rioters in LA right now. Can I do anything for you? That kind of thing. That real, just there's a certain humanness to it, and that's. I mean, I'll tell you, man. It's the exact opposite of what you're taught in school and college and in the corporate world, in the retail sales world. It's the exact opposite. And again, I thank you so much because it's your posts and my conversations with you that have reset my mind into like, hey man, they're people. They're not traffic. It's not a sale. It's people. You're dealing with people. Make friends. Help people. It's just so. you would think it would be, you would think it would be easy, but yeah. And it's like, I spoke to this woman, and she really appreciated I would even, in the middle of every phone call I get, this is funny. Every phone call I would get, I would start very professional. Hey, this is, Sonny Sex over here. Da, 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 da. And I would catch myself and I would stop the conversation. I'd be like, hang on 1 second. You know, I don't want this to be like one of those really formal conversations. Can we just be friends and kind of bring it down casually? And how's your day going? And just, and people love that. They
Yeah,
love it. It's just like, oh, great, yeah. And then we start, shooting the shit and making jokes and blah, 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 blah. And then, I mean, before you know it, boom, we're friends. And hey, how can I help you? And I'll be completely honest with you. And this is it. And
brilliant.
yeah,
That is it. You just
it
described it in a
was,
nutshell.
it was the difference was so, it was just plain to see, it's plain to see how, you can be the most professional guy in the world, but if you don't end up helping the person, what's the point?
Yeah.
Helping you being professional and they're walking right out the door, very professional, like, you know what I mean? But if you make them, if you're making friends and it's casual and it's, hey, this is what I'm doing. And it's just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, Apple pay me this and that's that. And okay, here we go. And it's just very, it makes it much more genuine. It makes it much more sincere. It makes it much more like,
Human. You said human. I think that's
that's
a good
I
word.
can't think of any word for it. Yeah, but that's the best
Yeah.
word for it.
We'll finish up on that with a line somebody told me. So I was chatting to him. He's like a business coach. I paid for these sessions to go through various stuff. And then he just kind of stopped and just looked at me and said, "You're the sort of person people want to buy from." I was like, "Whoa, hold on." I've had to think about that one. But what does that mean? He's like, "What does he mean?" It's like, it's because I'm just, bouncing. I'm just, just me. I'm like not trying to be anything. I'm not trying to do this and all that. But like, if you then had advice to give anybody in sales, it would be like, be the sort of person that someone wants to buy from. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
would you recommend? Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Would you recommend that plumber to your mum or your mother or that plumber? It's like, which one
You
is the
took the
one
words
that?
right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Be the guy you want to refer to your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they might not be the perfect personality that they enjoy being, but no, but just someone genuine who takes an interest and all those kind of things. They're not personality traits. It's like looking someone in the eye and saying, "Oh, how are you? How's your day been?" People
yeah.
just open up, and you just and then you shut up when you say that. How are you going? How's it bit, David? I always do it. Start a chat with some. I don't call them calls. I call them chats. I would chat with somebody like, "Oh, how's it going? Whereabouts are you in the world? What time is it?" Like, I don't know. You're talking very quiet because it's early in the morning and all this sort of stuff. It just paints a picture, and then what will happen? They'll ask you, "Oh, how's things going for you?" Because it's just normal. That's normal conversation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then you segue into like, well, anyway, so what is it you're really stuck on about the thingamajig you mentioned in the email or the blah, and then boom, 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 finish up with like, oh, like, so that I reckon you try this, then this, and this, and if that doesn't work, then try that, and blah, blah, blah. Let us know how you get on. I'd love to know how you're getting on. Da-da-da. I never try and like, if you want to hire me for such and such, I never bring it up. If they want it,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, if you want it, and if you can tell, it kind of goes quiet. If we wanted to get you to do this, how much would that be then? And I don't mind that at like the masculine price then, because you've discussed all the things that can be done and stuff. But if they ask that right at the beginning, it's like, we haven't to do what? We haven't worked out what you need done. So, but I don't bring it up. I leave it as a nice little discrete interaction that we had. I may send an email going, right, these are things we discussed. Have a go and look at this video and these little threads of articles that I've created I think are relevant to what we just discussed. Let you know, I might say circle back if you need help. I don't bother really. So all the best, let us know how you get on. And then that's my nice little interaction I've had with somebody in the world. And if they come back and they're a client, brilliant. Actually, it's unlikely. Sometimes it comes back. They come back 5 years later, mind. But it's
Wow.
not most of the time. It doesn't happen. But what happens is those people go off going, "Oh, that was a nice interaction. I know a guy, Sonny. He's really good at no." what they'll be saying is like, Sonny, he's sad. He's a really nice guy. He went to college, he's come out, he's done this, he's done that. He even did like, garage cleaning and stuff like that. Oh, he does Google Ads as well. That will be, it's like Sonny, they know Sonny, oh, he does Google Ads. Next time in their journey, if somebody like, oh my God, I'm spending like $2,000 a month on Google Ads, I can't figure it. I know a guy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know.
And it makes all the difference when I mean, I don't want to sound off, but somebody made a post. I remember reading it. I think it was RHL. He mentioned something about you can be successful, and but if you want to have massive success, make people love you. And I mean, the people that I have interacted with, who I've actually gotten to do business with, I have wanted to really make them a genuine friend, and get to that point, because it just seems right.
Yeah. I'm
Also,
really excited for you. I'm delighted for you.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for you, because if your goal is to get better as a business owner, you're rubbing shoulders with business owners. Mm-hmm. Now, someone like struggling like most people to, get to the next level and all that sort of stuff, they've got their own packaging, but you're dealing with people day in, day out who have a similar mindset of trying to grow something for themselves. And that's amazing. So now you're surrounding yourself with those people. You're going to make best friends with them. I've got a referral last night from a guy. He's done business. We parted company a while ago, but he still referred people on to me.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know whether he's got another Google Ads guy or not. He said he wanted to get someone who knew more about his industry, which is absolutely fair enough. And I was like, oh, all the best, blah, blah, blah. Didn't say anything else. All the best. Hope it all works out. Da, da, da. And he still referred somebody to me. So
wow.
You're going to make friends. I'm not, but one of the pleasures I have is just meeting up with people for a coffee, and I'll do that if they're a client or not. I don't care. It's like one of those pleasures. Just meet up and do what we're doing now. Shoot the breeze. So you got on the call being super grateful and all that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. This is great for me. I'm having a chat with somebody. I'm getting like feedback on things that I oh wow. So I get, you can call it market feedback. That's something I've done. It's helped somebody to do such and such. And you're like, your face lit up. I got a client. Wow. And I'm like, hold on, let me hit record. This is brilliant. I've got to get your face. So like, do this. Get on calls with your clients, and where they go, can we have a chat like once a month or something? And you're like, some people, oh God, for that fee, no, wouldn't do. It would only be half an hour. And me, it's like anytime I want to have a chat. How often are they going to have a chat with you? They're not going to chat every night, are they? If they want to have a chat, want to have a chat. Meet up for coffee, meet you for coffee if you're physically near and all that sort of stuff. Love it. You're now if this is the business that you want to do for a while, it's B2B. You're providing a business or service to businesses. So you're going to meet business owners. And if you want to get better as a business owner, your now circle of 5 people you speak to the most is going to end up being business owners. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's actually really nice to hear, because my arm, when you and I first started talking, it was like, I start with your existing network. My existing network is, for the lack of a better word, not the best.
Well,
lack of a better phrase, not the best.
You just came out of college. You just came out of college.
Right, just came out of college. And so I joined this networking group, and I made friends, and I wanted to tell you this before we ended this conversation, is I already got a referral from this woman, another business owner. Yeah.
Possibly before you've even got results for her.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely before I got any results for her.
You know why? It's because she can refer a guy she knows. There's a guy I know.
A friend.
She knows you, a friend. Like, there's a guy I know. You're not going to refer. Hold on. Somebody will refer someone through to me because they know that they'll get a chat with him. Have a chat with him, and he knows his stuff. He gets all excited. I'm imagining if they were to write it all out, he gets all excited, blah blah blah. But he won't steer you wrong. And what they don't say it, but he's not going to pitch you at the end. He's not going to try and close you. He's not going to try and hard close you or try a sneaky tactic or anything. He's just going to have a chat with you. And if it works for you, then, you know, it might work. They don't say all that stuff, but that's why. It's like, go and have a chat with Andy. Go and have a chat with Sonny. He'll like tell you. And then the other thing about you're worrying about being an expert. You might get like a Google Ads person hiring you, like a Google Ads specialist or Google Ad agency hires you because they haven't got the time to get stuff done. And what they want is somebody who'll do what you said before, figure it out. It's like, oh, I've got a client and honest to God, I'm so busy with doing this stuff, these clients, but I've got this client here. I've been in Google Ads like 10 years or 5 years and you just started. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, it's good enough. Whatever you're good enough and you want to figure it out. Perfect. Can I let you at it? Will you mind it? And will you not screw up with my client? Will you be nice to them? And blah, blah, blah. So you don't have to be even better than the person who's hiring you. You know, you could get hired by somebody who's better than you. You don't, you know, so all this thing of like how good I have to be. No, you have to be good enough to get the work done. And more importantly, you have to want to figure it out and not be like, oh, send me on a course. It's like, no, you don't need a course, just go. Like, not a lot of people say that, but that's a typical thing of somebody who wants to do something new. They come straight out of college. It's like, oh, I need a course on that. Well, no, actually, being an entrepreneur, just problem solving. Go and solve problems, make friends with people, build relationships, help people solve their problems. People start paying you.
Yeah, and a big thing for me that reassures me that everything's okay is knowing that there is no. Everybody wants a step-by-step guide, right? Everybody wants a step-by-step guide on how can I be successful and minimize my risk and blah 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 blah. And I love what you say. You figure it out as you go along. Why burn the boats? I remember in your recording. Why stop to burn the boats? Just keep going. Just find your way. And I just it's just refreshing to hear that, like, yeah, it's okay to not know what to do. You figure this shit out, you know?
But it's not only is it okay, it's normal and you've got to get used to it. In fact, those problems that you perceive as, oh my God, another problem. I've just done that and I've got another problem. Those are actually the stepping stones. As you get over each hurdle, you're further towards your destination. They're actually, hurdles are stepping stones in disguise, and problems are stepping stones in disguise. They're there to help us get from A to B. You know, there's all these little, got to fix each. But that's a mindset thing that I don't think is taught in school.
Definitely.
However it is, I don't know. That's something we have to learn. There's a lot of stuff that you've unlearned